It's the 12th round of the ABO World Super Featherweight title for you here on talkSPORT, and another terrific contest we're bringing you live this time from Nottingham.
Yeah, this is a 4-round fight for me now. This fight can be won and lost in these last 4 rounds. I've got Cacace slightly ahead. It could be 5-3. Oh, big left hook there from Cacace. How's Wood stayed up on his feet?
Wood straight into it, but he's trying to ride this torrent of passionate support. Oh, he almost goes down. He falls into the ropes, Leigh Wood, and the referee pushes Anthony Cacace away, and he's giving Wood a standing 8 count. Wood doesn't like it. The crowd is jeering, but Cacace caught him with a couple of tremendous left hands.
Yeah, big left hands, and he's landed another one again. Leigh Wood looking to hold. He's in desperate trouble. The legs have turned to stilts here.
And Cacace is looking to end this fight here in this 9th round. He was already ahead on the points, and he lifts the head up with uppercuts, with hooks, and Wood can do no more than cover up and try and gain a few seconds. Can he find one of his massive trademark punches? Good right hand from Cacace, as Wood holds on.
Big left hook there from Cacace as well, and the legs again gone from Wood, who's desperately trying to hold on here. Where's he finding this from? He's only seconds, moments away from being knocked out here.
Cacace senses that his man is there for the taking. Wood is looking groggy. He comes forward, pours out a left-hand lead, then does find the target with another one. Cacace's up on his toes, now plants his feet, getting inside, trying to work inside, and that period of dominance in this round was all started off with some great inside work from Anthony Cacace, the champion. He almost has Wood down again as Wood stumbles away. It's caught by a body shot and a couple of uppercuts. He almost looked as though he was going to fall down there, and Wood is almost out of it, and the corner have thrown in the towel. Leigh Wood has been saved from further punishment by Ben Davison, and Anthony Cacace is exuberant. He's down on his knees, kissing the canvas. There are hugs and celebrations in there, and my goodness, when he got his man going in that last round and a half, there was no let-up. Cacace is still the champion, brave from Leigh Wood, but on the night he's lost to the better man, and he was taking an absolute pounding in that 9th round when the towel came in.
Yeah, Ben Davison doing a great job there, jumping up on the ringside, throwing that towel in. What a contest, what an effort by a great former champion in Leigh Wood. It was his homecoming, it was going to be his big night, 2-time, 2-weight world champion. It wasn't to be, but he lost to a great fighter in Anthony Cacace. That 9th round, John, was brutal.
It certainly was, and Cacace just leaning over the ropes and celebrating with the Irish fans who've made their way across from Belfast and elsewhere on the Emerald Isle. Cacace still the champion, and when he got his opportunity, Adam, he took it magnificently.
He was fantastic, John. Absolutely fantastic. He probably, listen, on my card, he's probably dropped 2 rounds in that whole performance. I thought his boxing was fantastic, his footwork, his accuracy, everything about it was absolutely fantastic. And when he got Leigh Wood on the end of the hook, he did not let him off. That round to finish the fight was sensational. He mixed it up, he had him hurt to the head, and then he mixed it to the body, and he took him out of there. Great corner work, got to take my hat off. You know, sometimes we see brave corners, don't we, that go a little bit too long. I thought Ben Davison got it right. That must be hard, pulling out your man who's in his hometown favourite. He's made the right decision getting the towel in there, because we didn't need to see any more. Cacace was teeing off at will.
Not a difficult decision to throw the towel in. Obviously John Latham was thinking about stopping it. When he got battered around the ring for that last minute, I was saying to you, Adam, in the studio, I think Ben Davison will pull him out at the end of this round, because I had him winning 1 round. He gave his all. Cacace is a very, very dangerous man, and if Emmanuel Navarrete defends his title against Charlie Suarez this tonight in San Diego. I'd love to see Cacace go for gold in a unification in the division. I think he's on fire. Brilliant performance where he really did pick Leigh Wood apart. Yes, there was ring rust. As I say, he boxed when his opponent was fighting and he fought when his opponent was boxing. An utterly dominant performance against a very hard man.
Absolutely, and he is such a polite and likeable fella away from the ring. Big family man, Anthony Cacace, but when he gets through those ropes and really starts to fight, my goodness, he's an Irish fury in there.
Yeah, he really is. Tough guy to beat, you know. Doesn't lose spirit when things are not going right in the contest. Sticks to the game plan and he delivers. Works so well on the inside. His judgment of distance is incredible. And the right hands as well, as we see him leaning through the ropes there with his girlfriend.
And Leigh Wood's getting a great ovation from the crowd because I think they know that this could well turn out to be his last fight. I'm not sure there's going to be any way back from this. He's earned handsomely from his performance tonight, but he's been well beaten, and maybe at super featherweight, which is where he is now, he just doesn't have the power to be a genuine threat at world level. And Anthony Cacace, who continues to beat his chest and hold his fist aloft, he was absolutely in control from word go in that fight. Wood had a couple of rounds when he got back into it, but Anthony Cacace tonight was outstanding.
Superb. Anthony Cacace from start to finish in the fight tonight, getting the job done against Leigh Wood. Away from home as well. You've got to take your hat off to him. I know he took a few fans over from Northern Ireland, but from start to finish, Anthony Cacace was sensational.
Absolutely, and as I say, I think, you know, you look down the guys from the UK, Ryan Garner's not a big enough name to fight him at the moment, in my view, even though he's highly ranked.
Doing well. He's doing well.
No, he's doing well, but he's coming through. But he is not at the level of a Cacace. This guy was like a surgeon in there tonight against a very dangerous puncher. I couldn't give Leigh more than one round in those centre rounds. You could have given him 5 and 6 maybe. He was coming on strong. He gave it his all. But the power that Cacace shows, the ability to beat people like Joe Cordina, to dismantle Josh Warrington, yes, who's got a lot of miles on the clock as well. It's a terrific... He's having a terrific period in his career at 36, and he looks like he's got loads left at him.
Absolutely. He's currently doing an interview in the ring at the moment with our own Adi Oladipo. If we can get back into Nottingham, just to get a little bit of a feedback from Spencer Oliver, because Adi was kind of just alluding to it there at the start of the interview. 18 months. The last 18 months for Anthony Cacace has been truly sensational. He's been one of those fighters that has been bubbling along. Is he going to do it? Is he not going to do it? Maybe a few injuries have cropped up in his career that have maybe derailed certain things. But the last 18 months, Spence, he has been truly sensational in the super featherweight division.
Guys, you go back to 2017 when he lost to Martin J. Ward. In a good contest, to be fair. Martin J. Ward was a good fighter, but you wonder where his career was going to go and what sort of level would he reach, would he get to, would he, become, European champion, maybe at best, something like that. Fast forward 7 fights, and look where he is. He goes out to Saudi Arabia, a big underdog against Joe Cordina, knocks Cordina out in 8 rounds, hasn't looked back, a good victory over Josh Warrington, and then a sensational victory there against a very fired up Leigh Wood, who knew, John, it was his last chance to lose.
Yeah, he was absolutely outstanding tonight, Cacace. I remember commentating on one of his fights several years ago, and it was in Ireland, and Carl Frampton, he was absolutely emphatic that this guy, we hadn't seen him yet. He was a world-class fighter, and he was going to deliver sooner or later, and my goodness, he has in spades.
Yeah, he certainly has, and at 36 years of age, the guy seems to be getting better and stronger, and that was a first-class performance. He come into the Lion's Den here tonight. You guys have both been up here in this moment Motorpoint Arena. You know, with the fighters that we've seen over the years, the memorable nights with the likes of Cole Fox, you know what the fans are like. Coming into a hostile crowd like that is not easy. And Anthony Cacace delivered tonight. He's done that, and he's brought a legion of fans with him as well. What a performance. I salute both guys. What a career if he decides to end it there, Leigh Wood. But what a performance, and what next for Anthony Cacace?
Well, that's the key question, Spence. What is it going to be next? I know that obviously Gareth alluded to their other world champions, but at the start of the show we said that the profile with the other world champions isn't necessarily great, so therefore maybe the finances might not necessarily be connected to the fight. Don't get me wrong, there's some great fights that we can all get excited about. Are we talking the likes of Michael Conlan, for example? Is that what we're talking about? So those types of fights for him next, Anthony Cacace?
Listen, that's the sort of fight that would sell massively, as you guys know. Michael Conlan, a huge name, you know, out in Ireland as well. And what a fight that would be. Them two guys fighting on home turf there. They would both get well paid for it. And that's what it's about right now.
I think that's a big ask, Spence, for Michael Conlan to go straight into that fight with Cacace at super feather. Very tough fight for him.
Absolutely it is, but again, Michael Conlan's looking for that opportunity, Gareth. He's coming back, he's come back into it. Yes, he's picked up a victory. He's shown interest and said there is a possibility that happening. Let's not forget here, these guys, you know, they're not toddlers anymore. They're in the twilight of their careers, these two, and it's about manoeuvring and getting the right opportunities, like Leigh Wood done there, moving up, first fight at super featherweight. He took the gamble, took the opportunity, it didn't pay off, and Conlan could do the same.
Yeah, we had him on the show, didn't we, a couple of weeks ago, where he leveraged that ambition. It's a great fight. It's a great fight in Belfast, certainly, and it sells out in Belfast. If they want to do it, they go ahead and do it. But I would make Cacace a massive favourite in that fight.
Anthony Cacace was absolutely, truly sensational. Listen, you can hear it in his voice. Loads of disappointment. Leigh Wood has, for me, exceeded expectation for the majority of fight fans. When you analyse his last 5 to 6 years, where he was at to where he ended up getting, he's done tremendously well. I thought that maybe British and European level might be the cap, and if he got to that, then I think he would have exceeded expectation for him to go on and become a world champion, to deliver the nights that he's delivered, to have had the victories that he's had in that period of time. He can look back at, if it is time, he can look back at whatever he's achieved with an immense amount of pride. I think he's done fantastically well with the trajectory and road that he was put on at the start of his career.
This is an expression we use, Adam, which is an overachiever, and it's not meant as a criticism or a negative narrative on fighters, but the narrative arc of his career mirrors people like Chris Billam-Smith and Anthony Crolla, guys who had a period where they didn't look like they were going to go to world level, and then they have a second wind in their career, and they go there and they delight us and they thrill us. And like you say, he has achieved so much. I know Spencer's running around. He's probably going to try and get an interview with Cacace or Leigh Wood right now, but I think he can be proud of what he's achieved. I don't see the fight that's there for him to go out in front of the Nottingham crowd again and deliver. He gave everything tonight, came up against a very, very good champion, and he was roundly beaten by a very precise fighter. And I don't think there is a way forward. He obviously won't want to give up, but I don't see the opponent.
And that's the difficult thing. If there was an obvious path, then we could obviously make that claim for it right now, because you don't want to retire a fighter. But
Ryan Garner, you could put him in with, but is Ryan too young, too strong?
Yeah,
you know,
that feels like a changing of the guard, gatekeeper type of scenario. You want a legends fight. You want someone who's in the same situation that he's in, and maybe
so. Josh Warrington steps up then, does he? And they fight again.
Well, maybe because maybe that is the conversation, because you've got Nottingham Forest, Leeds United. You've got a fight there that they've had previously. Obviously, Leigh came through, but if you actually analyse that fight, Josh was winning it for a large period, that fight, so maybe there is an argument for it. Listen, I think it's a little bit too early to start talking about things like that. Let the dust settle, let him analyse the performance tonight, and I'm sure him and his team and his family will come to some type of conclusion. One thing that we can absolutely conclude is that Anthony Cacace is getting better. There's no doubt about that, and he's going in a direction now where there's some seriously mouth-watering fights on the prospect for him at super featherweight. It's just on what decision he makes. Does he take the high risk, low rewarders for maybe big marbles in the division, or does he go for the bigger names, the higher profile names, and the absolute blockbusters that might do big arenas back in Belfast?
But you said it earlier on the show that it's a division that lacks star power at the moment.
Absolutely.
And he could be the star in the division, and he probably is right now. Navarrete on the other side of the pond is seen as a big name. He is a star. You know, we've got the likes of Raymond Ford, who's in the division. Eddie Hearn's brought him into play against Nick Ball. You know, is there a Nick Ball fight there at super featherweight, for example? That's an exciting prospect as well, because I know we'll talk about Naoya Inoue in a minute, the great Japanese, the monster as he's known, who's a super bantamweight champion, and people are talking about him stepping up to featherweight. But for me, he stays there. I think Nick Ball is a potential massive seller. Frank Warren promotes Nick Ball. You could sell out in Liverpool. That's a possibility. You like that, don't you?
Listen, I like a lot of fights, but I also think there's opportunities for Nick Ball still at featherweight. I think there's opportunities still. We know that what the roadmap's going to be for Naoya Inoue at super bantamweight over the next, definitely the next one anyway. He's fighting MJ, isn't he, in Akhmadaliev in September time. Yeah. Before he even contemplates deciding to come up to featherweight, which would be Nick Ball's current weight, and then you've got another one on top of it. Whilst we're thinking of that and hopefully coming up with conclusions, let's speak to a man that might have those conclusions for us, because Spencer Oliver is speaking to Anthony Cacace. Let's get over to Nottingham.
Yeah, I am. I'm here with the champ, Anthony Cacace. Anto, mate, what a performance there. You come into the Lions Den and you delivered.
Yeah, mate, listen, I'm always going to the Lions Den. Like, when am I fighting in Belfast? I mean, I'm fighting, this is my third two-time world champion in a row. I mean, I've got nothing more to prove. I mean, I've beaten the best. I've beaten the best in featherweight. I've beaten the best in super featherweight in Britain. I am the number one, no doubt about it. So, show me the money. Let's not mess about anymore.
Listen, we've been talking about that, and I talked about it with Frank Warren as well. I say, listen, it's all about for you now. You're manoeuvring, you know, getting the big fights out there, the money fights that are out there. Leigh Wood was that guy, hence why you give up the IBF and come here into the Lions Den and picked up that to get that, you know, that extra payday.
Leigh Wood was double the money, and I've said it, and these journalists keep asking me, why duck Sugar Nunes? See how the word duck? It's not in my vocabulary.
Listen, you're a fighter, mate, and I know that's not that fighters don't do that. It's about opportunity and the business side of things, and I get that. Look, there's other fighters out there. A big fight with you and Michael Conlon back in Ireland, that would be huge. Surely he's shown interest, saying he may move up in there. Yeah. Are they the sort of fights you'd like?
Michael Conlon's a gentleman. No disrespect to him, you know. I would fight him, no problem. But I'm looking WBC, WBA. Michael's just a wee bit off that at the minute, so if he can get himself into that position, I'm all for it. Or if I'm getting paid a lot of money, we'll do that next week.
Listen, did I see you having a little word there with Cole Frampton as well? Was you trying to lure him out of your time in there, or what?
Me and Cole are friends. We've been friends from in the Irish team, 11, 12, 13, I've been knowing him from he was a child. It's all love for me in Frampton. It's all love for me and anyone from Belfast. I don't want to fight anyone from Belfast, really. So I just want to have the big opportunities, more belts, and the big money. It's more about money. I've got 3 children. Time to buy a couple of houses, you know.
Absolutely. Listen, Anto, you've earned it, mate. It was your night tonight. What a performance in the Lions Den. You delivered again, and we want all the best for you, mate. Looking forward to the next 12 months or so. See where you take it. But anyway, now back to you guys.
Mate. Top stuff. Thank you very much, Spencer. Thank you very much, John. Anto Cacace getting the job done this evening.
On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.